So in this video, I just want to give you guys an honest and brief overview of phone reselling if you guys are looking to get into it, especially in 2023, because there are a few things that have started to pop up more recently when it comes to people reselling phones. So first things first, I know a lot of you guys are wondering if this is really a good side hustle to set foot into, and trust me, it definitely is. This is something that's not really oversaturated. This is not something that has a high barrier to entry. It's not like you need $1,000 to buy your first phone realistically, because you could buy an iPhone 8 Plus for $100 off of Facebook or OfferUp. And another thing too is this is a side hustle that's very flexible on time. So I just want to give you guys an honest review of my personal experience, and of course give you guys a few tips and pointers that could help you guys if you are looking to set foot in this industry. And first thing that I want to point out to you guys is that if you're going to be buying a phone from anybody, please make sure you're buying from reliable sellers. I know that a lot of people step foot into the whole phone reselling business and they look for good deals only, but they don't really pay attention to who they're finding the good deals from. And that's really the one thing that's going to mess you up. So I feel like if you guys are buying from sellers who are completely reliable, you shouldn't have any bad experiences from the jump. But what you want to do is if you're buying off of Facebook and OfferUp and kind of just doing those online shop around stores that I used to do, then you want to make sure that these people actually have some ratings and that they've sold products in the past, because you don't want to buy from somebody who just made an account a month ago, because realistically you don't know if they're good or bad resellers, and you don't want to go bumping into them in public and they end up doing something bad to you. So that's the first thing that I want you guys to keep in mind. And second thing is that phone reselling has changed a whole lot recently because of the type of content that people put out about it and everybody wanting to get a piece of the pie. So there are going to be a lot of people looking to get deals and stuff. So you want to make sure that your negotiation skills are at an all-time high. It's not hard to learn how to negotiate. I've got a few videos on my channel talking about it, but for the most part, you just got to find ways to bring the price down on resellers, whether it be because the phone is damaged, or because it's lacking a few components that are very important, or you just have to go an extra distance to go get the phone. There's a lot of things that you could use to bring the price down on people and to negotiate. So that's something that you got to learn, especially if you're looking to make a lot of profit. And another thing too is that when you're buying a phone, please don't just buy the newest phone because they got the best deal for it. Trust me, I made this mistake in the past. I found this iPhone 13 Pro Max that I'm recording this video on right now, and this phone right here has been through a whole lot. Let's be honest. Like, I bought this phone thinking it was a brand new phone. I bought it from this guy, and it turns out he never paid off the phone, so it was locked to a carrier. But as a phone reseller, I didn't really mind, because realistically speaking, you could resell a locked phone for a decent price, because I got a 13 Pro Max a year ago for a good $600. That's a phone that could sell for $800 because this has 128 gigabytes and it's that rare green color that people love. So I bought it. And like after I bought the phone, I ended up taking a few photos for it, and it sold the very next day. But just to find out, like 2 weeks after I sold the phone to a guy, the person who I bought it from ended up reporting it as stolen. And the reason he did this is because he actually had insurance on the phone that I didn't know about. And what this is insurance fraud, which is the one thing you guys need to avoid at all costs, because it's when somebody who actually owns the phone first puts insurance on the device, resells it, and then after they resell it, they report it stolen to get a new one, and they just repeat the process over and over again, which is like an infinite money glitch for them. So if you guys are really trying to take this whole phone reselling thing seriously, make sure that you meet up at a carrier store, especially for brand new phones, because people could easily buy a brand new phone and just put insurance on that thing and then resell it to you, and then you find out that you're messed up later on down the line when they report it as stolen. So although it happened to me, I still needed a second phone regardless, because I record YouTube videos and stuff, so it kind of worked out in my favor to get a 13 Pro Max for a good deal. But for most people, losing $600 on a phone that got reported stolen is heartbreaking, because trust me, before I thought about the idea of just recording videos on this thing, I was like really pissed, because I make like $600 from reselling 6 phones, and now I just lost all those 6 phones that I had to go drive and pick up over one phone being reported stolen. And I gave the guy his money back because I wasn't gonna scam nobody out of a stolen phone. So regardless, I was just gonna do the right thing, but that's always gonna leave you in debt and make you lose your profits. So make sure that if you're buying from somebody who has like a brand new phone that they claim is brand new, but they got another one or whatever, that you go meet up at a carrier store and have them check it. And if it is still under that person's account, have them transfer it over. And another thing too is that if you guys are going to be buying phones in public places, make sure that you don't meet up at nobody's house. Make sure you don't meet up at night. Make sure you don't meet up at small stores that are kind of secluded. You want to make sure that you prioritize your safety to the maximum extent, because regardless of how much money this phone could make you because of how good the deal is, you never know what's truly a setup. And one thing that I did personally that was very dumb on my part was meeting up at a gas station at night. Now, this is the funny part. I met up at a gas station at night, and the thing is, normally I go to buy phones by myself or resell phones by myself all of the time. But this one time I thought, you know what, since it's a little bit far and the mall is like down the street, I'll take my mom and my brother with me and we'll go shopping afterwards. So this is the first time I ever took both of them with me to go buy or resell a phone. And I ended up driving like a good 45 minutes to meet up with this guy because I bought the phone the same day. I got a message, he wanted to buy it. I was like, all right, let's go for it. So I go all the way up to this area that's in Broward. I live in Miami-Dade County. So it was a 45-minute drive for me, and I ended up trying to resell the phone. Now the thing is, this dude stole that phone that same day that I went to go sell it to him. And the thing is, like, I think he thought I was gonna come by myself. So he came up to the car window ready to, like, just have the phone in hand and like try to negotiate or whatever, or at least try to make it seem that way. But when he noticed other people in the car, it's like he kind of became calm. And me, I didn't really take it as anything because some people are always in a rush. So I figured, you know what, it is getting late. This guy told me he has work in the morning. It's whatever. So I step out the car, and then I'm thinking this guy's legit because we're talking back and forth for like a good 30 minutes trying to figure out why his SIM card wasn't working in the phone, and I was confused. Turns out the SIM card was a dud, it didn't work, and then he had two dudes waiting in the back in a car that he ended up running off to with the phone and speeding off in the distance. We called the police, they couldn't do nothing, and they told me they wouldn't do nothing unless I was willing to press charges. But I didn't want to press charges because they looked like some teenage boys that were around my age, and I figured, you know what, I don't know how bad they need it. I don't know what type of weapons they've got. I don't know who they're associated with. So regardless, I just take my loss. I just learn from it and, move past it. So I ended up taking my loss with that phone. The phone cost me like $300 or something. I'm not too sure. You could find out in one of my old videos, but that was a mistake I made. Normally, if you're meeting up at night especially, you want to meet up at a police department. They have an empty lobby all the time where there's a police officer behind the window just sitting there doing nothing. And you can just meet up in there, do what you got to do, and leave. Nobody cares. So if you guys are going to be getting into the whole phone reselling business, prioritize your safety, meet up at a police department. Don't take the risk of meeting random strangers in random locations, especially of their choice. You're the phone reseller. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to tell them, okay, you're going to meet me at this police department at this time. If that doesn't work, we could reschedule a different time or whatever. And, make it work that way, because a lot of times people want you to come to their area because they know it better. If they're going to rob you, they know which alleyway to run down. They know where their car is going to be parked. They know exactly where their house is and how to get there without you being able to follow them. There's like a lot of maneuvers that people who do theft will easily be able to take. So make sure that you're meeting up in a place that you're familiar with. And also, when you're checking phones, the one thing that I used to do personally, which was like very beneficial, was I would have a checkpoint or like a list on my phone on notes, and I'll just go down the list. Because when you're buying a phone, you don't really think too clearly. Like, everything's going on in your head right now. Is this phone good? Is it bad? Or whatever the case is. So you're not going to remember to check the IMEI and then check to see if the battery capacity is good and then check to see if the screen was replaced. You might do 2 out of 3 of those things, but if you miss just one of them, it could just completely ruin the whole point of you buying that phone. So what I used to do is just make a list of all the stuff I needed to check, and then I'd have my phone ready on hand as soon as I pull up to the location and check down the list, and then start looking at the phone that I'm going to purchase. And doing that has saved me so much time, like you won't believe it. Like, before, I never used to do that for like the first half of me phone reselling, because I figured, I know what I got to check. But then I'd forget to check the battery capacity, get home and realize, gosh, the battery capacity is 72%. Or I'll get home and realize, oh man, the screen was replaced. And I didn't pay attention to that stuff when I was buying it, which is things that I could have easily used to negotiate the price even lower, or could have just told me, you know what, I'm not going to buy the phone no more. So those are like the few things that I really kept in mind, which was like, paying attention to the basic components of a phone before I purchase it, and writing that stuff down is, very helpful. So make sure you do that too. And lastly, the one thing that I think you guys should do if you're going to be getting into the phone reselling business is actually taking the time to advertise yourself on social media. Because one thing that I realized is that people that you know personally normally won't really complain too much about your prices, because if they want a phone, they'll buy it. Or if you're offering to buy phones, then they'll try to sell you their old phone because they just don't need it. And it's a lot easier to buy stuff from people that you know and trust, because you don't have to worry about getting robbed, because most likely you already know where they live. They're not going to take that chance anyways. So those are the small things that you could do in terms of advertising yourself. Opening a social media page, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, even OfferUp, you advertise yourself and then you share an ad on there. There's like a few strategies you could take. So advertising yourself is beneficial, because I found out that reselling phones to people that I knew personally was a lot easier, because they would end up like accepting a $200 increase on a regular phone. Because like, I'll be buying phones at, let's say, a $200 discount, and I would sell it to them at the regular used price, and they would just buy it without negotiation. But people on OfferUp, they tend to negotiate, probably dropping the price down $100, asking for half off. So, you know, depending on how much money you really want to make, if you end up branching off into social media, I'm telling you, you're going to make a lot more money. And on top of that, like, it's a lot easier to deal with people that you already know. So I know this whole video that I made just now is a lot more different from what I normally do. I don't have any cool edits or any sound effects and stuff. But if you guys do enjoy this style of video where I just lay it out to you as it is, just go ahead and let me know that in the comments, because these videos are easy to make. I could probably make one of these every single day or every other day. So if this is something that you guys would like, then go ahead and let me know, because there's a lot more stuff that I would like to tell you guys about phone reselling, and it makes it a lot easier to not have to edit every little part to make it, you know, a bit more fun to watch. And on top of that, if you guys do enjoy watching other types of side hustle videos and stuff, and you guys want plain advice kind of like this on how you can make that side hustle work for yourself, go ahead and leave the side hustle in the comments, and I'll make a video about it too, because I've made a lot of videos on side hustles. I've done a lot of side hustles in my past, and I'm still doing a whole lot every single day, although I don't record them. So if there's a side hustle like phone reselling that was good, which was this, or like reselling sneakers, reselling laptops, pressure washing, cutting grass, like whatever the case is, let me know what video you guys would like some advice on next, and I'll just make one of these sit down and talk videos where I just lay it out. So if you guys did enjoy this video and you are brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and of course smash that like button. And besides that, I'll see you guys in the next one.